Okay, I'm going to try to do a video on making a Old West leather holster. Here's the pattern for it. It's a smaller version of this pattern. This was my first attempt at making one that's 1880s-ish historically accurate. So this was the one I made, and it looks great and everything, but it was a little oversized, a little bigger than what I really would like. So I'm going to try to make another one a little bit smaller. So I added this bleed knot here, which actually made it look really nice, but that was so the gun actually fit, because it was sliding past the end there. So anyways, that's what I'm going to try to make a video, or a series of videos on, I should say. So to start with, I took my pattern here, which to make a pattern like this, you lay your, turn this the other way, you lay your gun down on a piece of big paper, and you trace out the entire thing, flip it like this, trace it out again, and then you would cut out that part, but don't cut out the whole top. You'd make a line in the middle, and you just cut out one side of that line, and you would fold it like that to wherever you wanted it, and the back part would be just a big piece of paper. And then you'd trace around this and then decide how big you wanted this area, and like how much you wanted to go in here. You know, you can adjust your design on the throat of it. This is not so much a Hollywood looking rig, but more of a historical looking holster. So anyway, that was what I started with. I traced that out and then cut inside my lines. Not that much. This is the whole thing, maybe around a ½ inch smaller. But when it's all done, I'm going to cut slits. Can't decide if I'm going to have like cut a slit here and here and slide it through a bigger part, or do what I did with this one and have two little ones. I'll make that decision at some point. But, so that's what you start out with your pattern. And I've mentioned in other videos, Springfield Leather making a single loop holster shows you how to do all this in better detail than I can do. The leather I'm going to be using, this is going to be a 2-ply lined leather. So this is a vegetable tan split. I'm about 5'10". This is taller than I am, longer than I am. Real big part there. It gets a little smaller. I think this was like 2 to 3 ounce leather. That's going to be the one side. Well, that's the probably 4 or 5 ounce leather. This is the 2 to 3. About the same. This comes off of, these are bellies, so the very bottom of the hide, and it's not good for like production shops, like, you know, commercial grade stuff. But for anything that a crafter's doing, especially just making stuff for yourself like I'm doing right now, just mostly for the fun of it, it's great. I'll put this here where I can work with it. Doesn't really matter, since I'm lining this, which, if this ends up being the rough outside or the rough inside, I just got to make sure I do the other one the opposite. I'm going to start, got a hole right there, so I'm going to try to go around that. I want to be as close to all my edges as I can get, so I eliminate as much waste as possible. Because these bellies are like, I forget what they are, 8 square feet of leather or so, 7 or 8 square feet of leather, and I think I paid like 25-ish for them. Weaver had a deal at a Black Friday sale, and Cyber Monday actually ended up being better, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind. But they had where you could get this promo code of 15% off, and anything over $75 you got free shipping. So I ordered a bunch of buckles and a few strap bellies, and then I got more strap bellies from my mother-in-law for Christmas. So that's how I got these. Just wanna keep the pattern on the line. Sorry, I'm out of camera right now. I'm just using my phone propped up on a nail is how I'm videoing this, so I'm not a professional at any of this. I'm just doing it for fun and letting other people see how I do it. Scratch a line around that entire thing. Okay. I've already taken my strop, put jeweler's rouge on it, and stropped my blade. Okay. This line, obviously you all can't see it, but I can see it pretty good. You want to go real slow when you're doing this. These little curves can be kind of tricky. Try to get them as clean and consistent as you can. Moving real slow and as smooth as possible, which is harder to do with vegetable tan than it is with chrome tan. Okay, adjust here. Try to keep your fingers away from where you're cutting, of course. Which it may look like I'm cutting into my fingers on the screen, but my fingers are well to the left. Sorry about that. Keep going around the entire thing. As carefully as you can. So I usually have to go over it multiple times. You can kind of see the outline there. A lot of times what I'll do once I get that line in there, and you can take your utility knife, just kind of go over it. Some people are a lot better at sharpening their knives than I am. Just need some polishing. And can cut through that with like one pass. Professionals, they're a lot better than I am at this because they get to do it for a living and I don't get to, so very careful when using a utility knife with leather. Very easy to go too far. Some things, instead of trying to go around the entire thing, you want to just do one little section, reset, and go to another one. This is the hardest part of the entire process, is just getting your pattern cut out of the leather in the first place. The fibers sometimes like to kind of stick together. that's basically your first step, is getting your pattern and getting the thing cut out of the actual leather. Get this one cut out, and then I'll cut off the liner off camera and come back and show you how to stitch them together by hand. Okay, we're getting there. This takes a few minutes. Definitely a good thing to be patient with. Not one of my natural strong suits, but if you want it to look good, you gotta have some patience. Alright. Now for the moment of truth. I want this to be a right-handed holster. This is going to be the outside. Something like that. I think when I get it lined and get a welt in there, I'll show you how to make a welt in one of the other videos. That's the part that'll go between the two plies, but I think that is going to be about right. So there's what we're starting with right now. That's what our first piece of leather looks like. So I'll get the other one cut out and then show you guys how to do some edge work and attach them all together, and final assembly and stitching the welt in and everything, unless I decide to lace it like I did with this one. But since this one's laced, I'll probably do the other one just stitching. So alright, thanks for watching.